summer in LA. Everybody, hey, let's all go out and play. It's summer in LA. It's summer in LA. All the kids are out of school and laughter fills the air. Another summer is on the way. People on the beach and walking barefoot.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm your host Nate, aka Crash. You're listening to the Can You Chronicles, and this is episode 207 on another Drivecast Solocast. Starting it out in a late night here. Figure I'd fire it up and get this thing going for another week. Hope you guys are doing well and prospering and in your careers, in your work, in your life, in your love, in your everything, families, more than one ways. Hope everybody's well. Welcome back. Appreciate all the love and streaming out there. And of course, you guys can find us on all the major platforms, including YouTube, which is only audio at the current moment for the time being. But you could find us on, shout out to Stitcher listeners, shout out to the iTunes listeners, shout out to you Castbox listeners, TuneIn Radio, shout out to TuneIn Radio listeners, also iHeartRadio. Shout out to you guys too if you're listening there. And Podbean, most importantly too. Thank you to Podbean. They host that's where the podcast is hosted and goes from. Since day one, I've been real loyal to them. So yeah, anyway, shout out to all that. And continuing on. So just trying to think what else. Oh, real quick, yeah. So if you guys, if you want to follow me on Twitter, go to @CanYouChronicles. Look up Can You Chronicles. You'll find me there. You'll see Nate, aka Crash, or Nate, or no, Crash. You'll just see Crash on there, and then you'll know you're in the right place. But Can You Chronicles. And then on Instagram, you could just look up GRTN and the number 8, Great Nate. Same thing, you'll see Nate, aka Crash, you know you got the right place. So please go ahead and do that. And bookmark and get on our website, ilovecanu.com. That's the letter I, LOVEKANU, ilovecanu.com. And, check out what's going on. Go to our shop, check out the merch page. Hopefully you can order, or if you want to order something, I appreciate it. All that good stuff. And also, more importantly too, check the show notes out. I have different offers there. If you guys want to sign up with Robinhood app, you could do that. Plus a couple other things, Postmates, if you don't have Postmates already. All those things help me out, help the podcast. But enough of all that. Not going on in promo mode right now. But yeah, just finished a big evening. My first of my long days. I'm going to be doing at least currently I'll be doing like 3 days of the week like this, where I'm working between two places. Pretty much I guess it's like it's like really, actually an actual work time, it's like about a little over 12 hours. But, with driving and all that, it adds up a little bit more. But yeah, it went really well. Can't complain. Haven't, got to do some work in Hollywood. Haven't done that for a while. Not that it's any different per se, but it is different, you know. It's always cool to be. I don't know. I don't know. I still like Hollywood, even with its with all the congestion and craziness around there. I still kind of like it there, you know. It's a whole different, you know, you just, things even smell different in Hollywood. But yeah, no, it's cool. And the building, place I'm working at right now, it's pretty dope. So between the both places, it's different, but really, it's pretty cool. So definitely enjoying it. I mean, as much as I can for working and doing a lot of hours, you know, it's pretty cool, man. You know, the surround, you know, when you have when a facility or office or whatever, and you know, your environment, if it's kind of cool and nice, that does kind of definitely makes a difference. You know, if it was, you know, if it really is like crummy and maybe the area is not much, you know, it makes it, yeah, it could definitely bring everything down. But yeah, so that being said, all good. But real quick, I wanted to put the, you know, I just saw it on some sad news, unfortunately. Ed Lover, if you remember Ed Lover from the MTV Raps show back in the day, and he's still currently doing radio in New York, I believe. You know, and he's on social media and all that. His, I believe it is his younger brother. His name was Todd One. That's his name he went by. That's what he was known by. He unfortunately passed away. I'm not sure how old he was. Probably not a whole lot older than me. A young guy still, you know. Seems like it's pretty unexpected. But I just got that news tonight, or saw it online. Not a super known guy, but anybody who was fans of that show or watched MTV Raps at that time, you probably would, you know, you'd get, if you see, you'll see him, you know, or if you look him up, you'll probably be like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that guy, you know what I mean? And I think he was like a producer with the show, and I'm sure he did a lot of other things. Maybe did some music stuff too, I'm not sure. But man, it's just want to say my condolences to Ed Lover and anybody else, you know, any fans as well. If you're just a fan of that era and all that, you know, you guys will know what's up. But RIP to Todd One. Yeah, I think the thing I saw is, I think he was dealing with walking pneumonia, man. And but it looked like he was okay from what I was seeing on a post, but obviously that probably, you know, that shit's dangerous as fuck. So very scary, man. But that's I think I was saying something about that before, but in terms of like, you know, unfortunately we have sometimes these big fears and ideas of what to be afraid of, what's going to take you out, you know, war, or, you know, all these other things, natural disasters, blah, you know, but it's things like that, pneumonia, heart attacks, strokes, you know, those kill a lot of people all the time, and all types of ages and everything, you know. So it's you know, it's just the way it is, man. So just try to, you know, all you can do is just try to spend time with your people you love, man, or reach out to them, whatever you can do. Let them know you love them, because you just never know. I mean, do the best you can. But yeah, man, just want to put that out there real quick. Todd One, RIP. But yeah, look him up. You know, I'm sure you'll probably see a little bit. Like I said, you know, he wasn't like hugely famous, but you know, definitely was a part of a special period. You know, it's kind of a, you know, he was a face on TV I grew up with. Part of the faces I grew up with. You know, I mean, all those guys, him, Dr. Dre, and Ed Lover. You know, I mean, and I forget the other guy's name, but he was on this. Another dude, I can't remember his name. I'll have to look it up so I can remember that. But yeah, man, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy to, you know, there's so many different artists of my era, or, you know, or people, you know, that you know, just dying young, you know, for different, you know, in different ways, different causes and reasons. But yeah, it's sad, man. It's just a reminder. But yeah, so that's all. I don't want to. Not much else to go on about, you know. But yeah, pretty crazy. And like I'm sure for Ed Lover, you know, if it is his brother, even if it isn't it by a lot, whatever. I mean, he's definitely was close to him, so you know, that's gonna be tough. It sounds like it'll be tough for him, but yeah, that's a bummer, man. So my condolences to Ed Lover and all that. Not sure, you know, I don't know if he'll ever hear it, whatever, but either way, still just put that out there, you know. And yeah, so to get past that, what else? Of course, we got a lot of shit going on. We got our dickhead president, you know, just stirring up and keeping his rhetoric going, letting racist remarks and racism, you know, just thrive, and, you know, giving it all good, and just a real nasty fucking guy, using it as politics, though. I see it, all this bullshit. But it's, you know, it's gonna, you know, things will still work out, but this fucking guy is a piece of work. Can't say it enough. I don't need to go on a million ways about it. I think you guys get the point. If you don't know where I stand on it with him, then I don't know what to tell you. Go back and listen to some episodes. But I'll talk about it a little more in this episode at some point. I'm just, right now, I don't want to get too much because I'm not too far from home. Just wanted to, but I did want to get this started up and get it a, set the table, as they say. Set the table for this episode. You know, because I'm going to get in, I'm going to get into a few topics. Right now I'm just shooting off the top of the dome, but I'll be definitely, you know, making sure to include some other things to get into as we go along. But yeah, so we have that. Otherwise, in a lot of ways, kind of light news out there, even though there's a million stories. Oh, here's a crazy story for you real quick. I think it was either Alabama or Arkansas or Alabama. I think it was Alabama. But authorities there they're trying to tell meth addicts to stop flushing their meth down the toilet, because the alligators, apparently there's alligators out in Alabama too. Well, they're spreading around, but they're all through the South in different parts, I think. But anyways, the meth addicts, stop flushing your shit down the toilet. That's what the authorities essentially are saying. Trying to say it in the nicest way as possible, because the problem is the alligators are eating the shit. And now you got meth gators out there. That's the kind of fucking world we're living in, man. You got gators on fucking meth. Unreal. What the fuck is going on, man? It's just crazy. It's crazy. People, man, we just fuck shit up, you know? Is that what it is? We're a fucking pest, you know? In some ways. It's really like, who fucking does, you know, what? There's no animal out there that makes a fucking drug and then gets its, you know, puts it in somebody's fucking water supply. At least that I know of. You know, I don't know of any animal that does that, but we do. Crazy, dude. Crazy. Fucking gators on meth, man. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? For real. But, yeah, that's what's, you know, unfortunately, that is the thing out there. And then in Florida, of course, they got a jungle just growing and growing all the time. Not that it hasn't been forever. But, yeah, they got a huge surge in iguanas, apparently. So, the iguana population is thriving. And, I'm sure it's a new delicacy for a lot of people. Or some people maybe are eating it just to survive. Who knows, man? But what's next? I don't know. Maybe they're going to be on fucking meth, too. You know? What other animal's going to be on meth? Man, fucking crazy. So, anyways, that's my beginning to this. So you guys get ready. We're going to have a lot more. And stay tuned. Yo, what's up, guys? Just jumping on here. Hope it's not too loud. It seems to be a bit. Anyways, just gonna continue on here in the podcast. It's Friday night. Just finishing up the weekday portion of my work week. And doing pretty good. Went really well. You know, all things considered. It's been a while since I've done some of these hours that I've been doing. So, you know, I'm actually, I'm actually pretty kind of, you know, I'm glad, I'm kind of, not surprised, but just kind of glad I feel the way I feel. I feel pretty good. You know, all things considered. I guess maybe this schedule works a little better, you know, so far. We'll check in another week, but, you know, thankfully on the weekend it's going to be a lot lighter. So, you know, it's not going to be that same thing. But before I really, not really before, I'm just continuing to talk here, but just wanted to, you know, just talk about kind of more about this podcast going forward. You know, like I've said, I always want to make sure to, you know, I want to keep this podcast more interesting. You know, sometimes I feel like it gets stagnant, maybe repetitive. I'm sure it's the same thing a lot of podcasts go through, trying to, you know, make sure, you know, they're keeping the interest of their audience and giving them more. So I just want you guys to know that I'm really going on here. I'm not going to say that, oh, it's going to just change overnight, you know, but there will be some improvements and changes in the sense of I'm just looking to, I really want to keep bringing value to this experience, or, you know, your time and listening. And what I mean by that is, you know, just like the things like where I gave some tech tips recently in the last podcast, you know, I know that was kind of basic. I'm sure, again, you know, some of that stuff is pretty much common sense for people that, you know enough, but I want to bring more of that content, not specifically always tech related at all, but I want to bring that type of value. I want to give you guys value for your listening. I want to, and some of this stuff is going to be something I may be learning and going through at the time. So, meaning, some of the ventures, like what I'm doing between this podcast, which you're just listening to, but not that, but like, with the music that I'm doing with my mom's music for Monica Martov. I'll continue to share how that's going along and maybe some of the processes and talk about the music business maybe more extensively. What else? Some more talk in my industry that I'm in now with post-production. So obviously entertainment industry at large, but I want to give you guys some value, and then hopefully for some of you guys, maybe some of you are interested, you're looking to get into this business. It might, or maybe you're already in the business and you're just trying to get some tips or some ideas. So I'm just really going to focus on bringing that level of value to you guys, whether it's from me talking about it or, sorry about that. That's my gauge here. But yeah, gas gauge. It's fine. No big deal. But yeah, whether it's me or like a guest, yeah, I'm gonna make that my focus as I go forward. And you're gonna be on a journey with me as you already are. That is why it's the Chronicles, the Can You Chronicles. Can You is the business. That's the name. I'm not looking to rebrand everything, and I'm not trying to overthink or anything like that, reinvent the wheel. I'm just going to add to what I'm already doing. So, but in the process of that, in case some of you are always looking for sports talk, I'm not saying I'm going away from that. I want to continue to incorporate that. Naturally so. I'll just talk about it myself. But it may not always be in the podcast per se. So just, I'm just letting you know that. But I'm not, I also don't want to be, I'm not trying to be in one particular box either, but if there's a theme I want to get to is, like I said, value. I want to bring more value, and that's my theme, that's the idea, because I think it's really important. And not just for you guys, but for me as well. It's gonna challenge me. It's gonna hold me accountable in some aspects. But at the same time, we can make this more back and forth. Where you're getting more out of it and I'm getting something. So that's all. Just wanted to mention that. And again, I appreciate you guys as you continue to follow and listen. The podcast has been doing great, very stable. I'm looking over the numbers a bit and actually kind of surprised myself a little bit. I guess I didn't realize a certain metric, but it's something I've been looking at. But we've served, or I shouldn't say we, but I've served, or this podcast has been listened to in the last 2 years. It's been a good, and this isn't, I'm not doing this to brag, it's even to inspire, but, I can't believe it. It really actually is, it's one of those things I probably have to look at it so many times to kind of like, yeah, man, it's going like that, but, we've had over in the last 2 years, and this I just looked at, earlier today, I've had 400 plus thousand downloads, streams, whatever you want to call it. And I mean, it blows me away. It absolutely does. Now, I don't know in every instant if it's like they listen for a few minutes and they get off. I don't know. I don't have every detail of the stats. And, I mean, I get a decent amount of stats, but I don't get specifics. But either way, it just really is amazing. But I look and see that, and I'm like, that's awesome. And obviously we want to keep building, or I want to keep building, and we want to get more of a reach. And in doing so, I know that's gotta, I gotta bring more to the table as well. In doing that, I'm not going to stay stagnant, and that's just what's up. But thank you all. Thank you so much. I don't know how exactly those metrics get, each piece, or if is that individuals, or is it, are those repeat listens from the, either way, it doesn't really matter. It's still so amazing. Thank you guys very much, and let's continue on. And what you could do always, if you want to help in any way, like I said, little things like going to the YouTube page, subscribing, liking the podcast there, anywhere you're at, listening. If you could rate, whatever you could do, even if you can't do those things, you could share it, even if you don't like us or like me or whatever, I don't know. Like any interaction, engagement, I'm all good with. But whatever you can do, it's free. What I'm giving you, it's free for you to do these things. It takes no time out of your day. I would totally appreciate it. And that helps, obviously, in the rankings and getting us, more exposure. And that's all. So just being very transparent, and letting you guys kind of see behind the curtain. Now, again, it sounds super impressive, and it is, but in doing that, and also all these years, I mean, I haven't really made a dime at all on this podcast, nor have I looked at it like, I don't sit there and treat it every week like, I gotta make, I gotta make money. Oh shit, I'm sorry. I just crossed. I wasn't supposed to cross then. Somebody was supposed to cross there. I don't focus on that exclusively. I really, obviously if I did, I wouldn't even be doing this if it was about that, because it's all been me, my time and my money. Obviously this isn't free for me to have on the service. It's not that expensive, but it's not free. So I put my time, I put, some money up. But again, whatever you guys, in whatever way you can help, that'll be great. But I do want to obviously monetize, and in doing that, that's going to involve some more ads and stuff, which I really haven't done much of. But that's pretty much it for the moment. I'm going to stop for now, and I'll be back in a little bit. You won't even notice. All right. Hello. Just getting back on here. Going to finish up this podcast. Going to be probably a little shorter this week. As you, if you're a frequent listener, you know that it kind of varies. I'm just here about to finish up shortly. Just doing my thing, taking care of some work. All good at an undisclosed location. So I apologize if you're going to hear a little clicking as you hear me right now. I'm just on the keyboard. So hope it's not too distracting. But anyways, I shouldn't go on about that. But yeah, so finishing up. It's a Sunday. Put in that extra. It's a The weather's heating up. It's fully feeling like summer out there, which is beautiful. Got a lot of people complaining about it. Probably in other parts of the country more so because of the humidity in a lot of places, which I can understand that. Especially, you know, back east. Anywhere, really. Pretty much everywhere outside of here in LA, it seems to get, you know, there's just a lot of humidity in other spots. But, yeah, pretty big heat wave this weekend. Some places are, 105 and, a lot of hundreds out there. So hope you're staying pretty cool, but, try to make the best of it. I mean, it's summertime. That's what it does, invariably. I know constantly with that, people want to point, with global warming and climate change, which definitely, isn't, I don't see it as a joke. I know that there's something to that, I don't want to, but people argue about it, and I don't know. It's become such a political thing, and to me, when it comes down to it, it's like, what, it's just foolish arguments in my book, but hey, to each his own. But yeah, summertime heat. So I'm just nice and cool, which is great, not having to be, sweating it out there, doing anything strenuous. But yeah, kudos to any of you guys. If you're one of those guys, if you're listening to my podcast, maybe you're a cable guy. I don't know. Maybe you do some kind of form of construction. I mean, I wonder if any of you guys on a job like that are able to listen to a podcast. I'm sure some do, and that's awesome. So shout out to you guys, dealing with different weather extremes. You guys are awesome. But I know for you guys, it's like, hey, that's what I do. You do it after a while for some years, and it's just what you do, But people crack me up in terms of the complaining when most of us are going to be in some kind of AC, or at the least, you're in shelter. You're not in the direct sunlight. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in that, and heck, even if you're not, there's ways to sneak around. There's tons of AC in all kinds of places. Starbucks, the mall, the movie theater, department stores. I mean, you name it. All, hey, just try to stay out of the fucking sun, basically, at the end of the day, right? So, I don't know. It's just something we do, right? Bitch about weather. Hot, it's cold. It's hot, it's cold. So, but yeah, hope you guys aren't one of those. I hope you guys are making the best, are enjoying it. Maybe you're on the lake, maybe you're at the ocean, or whatever. When you're listening to this, by the time you're listening, you're probably on your job. But and that's not bad either. That's a good thing, right? I hope it is for you. But yeah, just go ahead and cover some sports. I'll talk some real quick. I'm going to talk about some boxing real quick. The Manny Pacquiao Keith Thurman fight was last night, and I got to see a pretty good amount of it, which in a split decision, Pacquiao won. Amazing achievement for a guy his age overall. His first win as a young professional boxer was in 1998, guys. That's the year I came out here. Yeah, me and Pacquiao are probably just about 2 years apart in age. He's going to be 41 coming up. But, yeah, shout out to Manny Pacquiao. Congratulations. An amazing fight. He really, he just did what he does. He was pretty impressive. His footwork was great. It's one of the better fights I've seen, from him in a little while, although I haven't, we haven't seen a lot because it's been a little while. I forget what the last one was. I think it was, it wasn't Mayweather. It was somebody else. So forgive me, I'm not coming with all the stats and facts and all that stuff. I'm a very novice fan. I'm not a super big boxing dude, but I just give you what I saw. I just give you just like the regular dude version. But yeah, I thought it was a good fight overall, man. I definitely, if you if you were there, if you got the pay-per-view, you definitely got your money's worth. They did all 12 rounds. I definitely agree. I think that was pretty fair because Keith Thurman, he did his thing as much as he could. I think they were a little nice to him here and there on the punches landed. I'm not too sure about those, but okay. And I'm not saying like it was way off. I just think they were a little bit nice, in my book, but I could be wrong. So, and kudos to Thurman, being humble afterwards, taking the loss very well, even after talking some shit, which is par for the course these days, or any time for that matter. So, hey, nothing to hang your head about. You just lost to a great legend. And I'm sure he learned a lot out of this experience. Pacquiao, I just was looking at it. The guy's been through the war, man, like when it comes to fights. I mean, he's been through all kinds of battles. And he's not afraid of being hit. He's obviously shown that. He's not afraid of losing. He's had his losses. And you got to love it. He's one of the last warriors out there. I don't know if we'll see quite a guy like him again, or at least for a while, especially in his weight division. But we'll see what happens. Now he's got I guess, how many belts? I don't know. I think 4 belts altogether now. I'm not sure, but pretty awesome. So people are speculating who will be next. I don't really know, but I'm going to go with, like he said, it'll probably be sometime next year, which I think is smart. There's no need, because it's already July. I wouldn't push for a fight this year, man. I would definitely, just do it next year. Maybe, we'll see what happens. But he went back to the Philippines right after. He's probably there right now, taking care of his senator duties. It's amazing, man. Guy is phenomenal. So we should celebrate these guys. It's kind of hard not to like in my book. I don't know how, people could not like him that much. Maybe he's not their favorite or something. I mean, but he's hard to unlike, man. He very class act. Doesn't. He didn't even engage in any. He doesn't engage in much shit talking, if any, at least publicly, and he's just a very well together. He's just got his shit together, so to overall, obviously. So, man, it's just really awesome. And shout out to Freddie Roach. What a great man. Boxing coach, and just they work together great. So happy to see that. Got to meet Freddie Roach years ago. Went to his gym a couple times. I even did a little sparring session with his brother, who I'm not. His brother Paul, I think his name is. I don't know if he's still. I know he had come down with some health issues himself, and I don't know if he gets to do that anymore, but it was such an honor. What a great guy. Very, very cool Boston East Coast dude. Didn't pull no, he was, very straight up with me at the time, but very cool, nice guy. Well, I don't know if you can say nice guy in the traditional term, but in my eyes, I was like, I just, I think back and I just even appreciate it more. I don't know if I realized how awesome that was, to be able to just roll up like that at the time. This was before Pacquiao really, became the guy for Freddie Roach. So that gym, I don't know since then how much, how crazy it is. But for a time there, it was pretty hard to get into, to go whatever. But it's open. You know, people could go, and you have all types of people. You have the professional boxers there. You have amateurs coming up. You have, actors and actresses just going there for the workout. But just old school. It's such a cool place. So if you're ever in LA and you're a boxing fan, definitely make your way to Wildcard. All you have to do is get to Vine in Santa Monica. You'll find it. It's right there. And, I don't know what to say, but Freddie was a great guy. He's very approachable. At the time, it wasn't that long before. He was training Tyson in some of his later fights, one of his last fights probably. And, I asked him how that was, and dude was totally down. He talked about it, no big deal. And, I just wanted to say that, because, I really appreciate it that much more as the years have passed, wow, that's really cool that I got to do something like that, It's a tough sport, man. I have had respect for boxing, but when you go and, even if it's just for a workout, go do a boxing training somewhere. I mean, wherever you're at, but it'll test you, man. And I didn't even go full blown with it. I just did it. I did it a few times overall, maybe, and between a couple different people. So, but it's awesome. It's very, it's a great workout if you just, as far as a workout, but also, man, if you, can train enough, even if you're just working out, I mean, that'll make anybody just a tad more dangerous, just like if you're taking jiu-jitsu. Most people don't have any of those skill sets. Not that you should go out and try to use them, because you don't know who the fuck you're running into out there, but no, it's great, I just really, I can't recommend it enough. I think it's probably one of the best workouts you could do. Any of those things, martial arts, boxing, all that, fantastic workouts. So yeah, great fight. Not much else to say about it. I was hoping, obviously you're always hoping for somebody to get maybe knockout or whatever, but, the difference really was, I think the biggest difference was, when it came down to it, was the fact that Pacquiao got that knockdown early on. That was huge, man. So I can't say enough. And if you haven't seen it, pull it up. And I'm sure you could see all the highlights by now. It gets on YouTube pretty quick. But it worked out really well, because I wasn't at home at the time, but I found somebody on Instagram showing it, and it was just like, I love that. I love when you get something like that, because you're also getting them, talking and all that. It was great. It was really cool. So, not going to blow up anybody. Not that anybody's going to do anything, but pretty fun stuff. What else I was going to say? Other sports. A little bit of baseball. I'll talk a little baseball. I'm not going to cover too much, but shout out to the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think it was, last night too, or yesterday. They had a throwback night or whatever. They had their 70s style, uniforms and everything. Freaking awesome. The best uniforms in the freaking country in terms of baseball. I dare somebody to, really, all the Pittsburgh teams, between the Penguins, Steelers, Pirates, what can you say, man? They're black and gold. Whether you like any of those teams or not, really an awesome color scheme, fantastic. Each one have, I think they all have really awesome jerseys, and, Pirates in particular. You can't hate the Pirates out of all those teams. They haven't done shit. So, shout out to them. They had a great game. Beat the Phillies, a little cross-state rivalry. series. So looked like it was a packed house and everything. So but they're unfortunately they're not going to do anything. I'm pretty sure. I mean, they're not. They have a shot. They could squeak in if they're lucky, but I just don't know if they're going to do it as usual. But they have they have some pieces there. It's just always the same talk, though. They don't, unfortunately, that ownership, until they pony up the money or change to another owner that will do it, nothing's going to change. It's been the same old shit for so many years. I mean, I don't care. Yeah, that's great. They got to the play a wild card. They did that a couple times just a few years ago, and that was awesome. It got a little excitement going on there, but they're not serious about it. So it's a real shame. It really is. Fantastic park. There's fans that totally would be down, but people just can't take it anymore. You can't really cultivate that fan base at this point anymore because they're people are tired of it. They're going to go. Now it's a thing. Hey, you go to a game if it's a nice day, or they get people. A lot of fans from other teams come in town because they love that park, but nobody's consistently trying to go there. And but they would. They definitely would. If you give them a team, they'll fucking be there. But they're not dumb. People, you barely have to, know baseball that much to see that, oh, does this team have a chance? No, they don't. They don't have this or they don't have that. All it comes down to, I think, with the Pirates is their bullpen and in pitching. Otherwise, their hitting is fantastic. Probably some of the best they've had in a long time. But oh well, it's not getting in the wins. But it's super competitive. I will give it that. That division's a hell of a division. If maybe they were in another division, maybe that wouldn't be so obvious. Maybe they would be in a better position. But that Central Division is fierce. But it's good, man. It is good in the sense it makes all the teams that much better. I think you're better off having, even if you come on the other end of it. I think when your team does get through and finally, get somewhere, that they're a team that fights in a division like that, they're just going to be hard to reckon with. So, shout out to all the teams. I don't, not that I want any of them necessarily to win it all, but, shout out to them, because it's been a battle year in and year out for quite a while. So yeah, if you're into baseball, you want to see some good baseball, now is the time. This is the time of year. You haven't watched it, now's the time. Start watching a few games here and there. It's going to be really fun. This is when it gets more, up until September. The next 2 months, it's, shit really starts to count big time. Especially this next month. That's when it really, really, it's getting, everything's getting that much more high stakes for teams. But shout out to the Dodgers, of course. They've been having a fantastic year again. Just cruising, it seems. And, they're an organization that should be that way. They definitely have I think they're one of the largest payrolls, if not the largest. And it's showing. And I just really hope, it looks to me that they could very well be back for another title run. I'm just hoping they could get over that hump this time. This would be 3 in a row, man. And, the pressure has got to be nuts if they, it's already nuts, I'm sure. But then again, what have these guys, there's nothing they haven't been through yet already. So we'll see, man. That's my other team, of course. If you listen, Dodgers, Pirates, I'm always either one of them. That's who I'm pretty much going to pull for when it comes down to it. But, and other than that, I'll pull for a team if they're if they're just an underdog, they haven't won anything. Yeah, that's the team I'll pull for. Outside of, like, the Astros, I wasn't pulling for them. obviously, because they were playing the Dodgers this last time when they won. But yeah, they've always been a team I just don't like, And it's it's not any particular player. It's just they were the first game I went to, and they beat the Dodgers back in the day, and it was a rainy game and everything. So I'll never forget that. And then over the years from that point, there would always be, whether they played the Pirates or whoever, they always seemed to be that team that win, for that game or whatever. So I always am like, screw that team. But hey, congrats to them. They have a great organization. They're playing consistent. And they're going to be in the hunt just the same. They could get back there too. So we'll see. So that's pretty much what's up. I'm not going to go over every team. I'm just being very loose about it. Maybe I'll get into some more of that talk coming up. I need to do a little more homework. So so that's about it. But yeah, it's that time of year. Not much to talk about otherwise in sports. NBA at this point. Nothing else is going to really, the trades are done. Any big trades, there might be some minor trades or, whatever, but all the big stuff is done right now. Again, that's another thing that's not going to, the NBA is, it starts around Halloween, but it doesn't really get going till January, February. I would say just about mid to late January. That's when you could kind of go, okay, here we go, So, yeah, I'm not going to be covering that for a while now. There's really nothing to cover. Next up is football, and training camp's about to start this week for a lot of teams. I know the Steelers will be by next week. I think most of them are usually by the 26th, 25th, so probably by next Wednesday for a lot of teams it starts up. And it kind of goes from there. So we got I think the Hall of Fame game in Canton is August 3rd usually. So that's right around the corner, man. We're less than 2 weeks away. So that's really, really cool to see. Can't wait. Really can't wait. Really excited for the Steelers. It's been so much better so far for an off season. All the dust has subsided. There's no more, AB and Bell. That stuff's, they've moved on. And finally, Brown, he seemed to want to drag that out for a little while. But finally, I haven't heard a peep out of him anymore. So, thank God. It's just like, hey, man, you got everything you want. You're with the Raiders. Dude, stop it, And I'm sure people around him were saying that, or even just looking at him like, yo, save that shit for the field. We got other people to play, because he ain't going to, let me think. Do they, I don't know. I don't quite think they play the Raiders this time, but yeah, the Steelers aren't going to be his, anything to look at. He needs to start looking at the Chiefs and whoever's in his division, the Broncos. Those are guys are, he has a whole nother ball of wax to try to get used to, I mean, you're talking, that he went to a tougher division, let me tell you. And he's great. I'm not shitting on him. It's going to be interesting, but we'll see. But, yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. I'm sure there might be some other NFL things to talk about, but I don't know. Not really. I'm just going to have to sit and wait. But, yeah, so that's pretty much it for sports. Trying to think. Yeah, so just another week of trying to put the pieces together and keeping it rolling here. So that's pretty much all I wanted to cover at the moment, guys. I don't know what else. I could get into news and all that stuff, but I've had enough right now. I'm kind of burnt out looking at everything, and I'm sure all of you are. So I don't need to really feed that trough anymore right now. Not interested, man. You know, I want to keep things on the positive. Because there is a lot of positive, cool stuff to talk about and look forward to. So I would suggest do the same. Keep that on a limit. You know, you pay attention, you look at it a little bit, but keep your eye on your prize, whatever that is. If that's taking care of your kids, if that's getting that new car that you want, if that's, you know, paying off a little bill, going on a vacation, all those things. Don't, you know, and go enjoy yourself. Things are fine, especially when you don't focus on that crap. Because really, you know, the news, whether it's like purposefully or not, it simply will upset you. It's really simple. You can't tell me. There's nobody that listens or watches a news program. I don't give a fuck if it's local or national, or you look on your Twitter. You know, if you watch a half hour, you're gonna get pissed off, and it's unnecessary. And then you get off your game. You know, now you lost sight with what you're trying to really do, and you know, just think about that. That's all. I'm gonna keep saying it, guys. So, you know, if you're sick of that and you want to hear me, you know, rant and go off about stuff, well, sorry, probably not going to do that too much. Yeah, I don't need to do that. You want that kind of stuff? Hey, there's tons of programming and shit out there to look up. Hey, it'll cover that for you, no problem, man. But me, nah, I'm not down. I want to provide you the good value, so that's what we're going to keep on doing. So again, I'm going to wrap it up here. If you're wanting to follow me on my social medias, I'll say it again, at Can You Chronicles on Twitter. On YouTube, it's Can You Chronicles. On Instagram, at GRTN8, Great Nate. If you see Nate, aka Crash 2, that's the same. You know you're in the right place. So definitely check me out. Subscribe to everything, or, you know, follow. You know, if you like something, great. If you don't, let me know. And you guys have a good one. I'm out. Peace.